Masks of the Masquerade by xxImpressions. Chapter 4. You never did get an explanation for the tense scene you witnessed outside your house between the Viscount and your mother as the next few days passed. Every time you tried to ask about it, your question was dodged and/or dismissed by the one you wanted answers from. The usual response given by the Dowager Countess consisted of a message that essentially boiled down to,
"You will understand when you are older."
You do not know how much longer your mother expected you to wait to understand these particular lessons, given that you were well past the consenting age of marriage. In your mind, you were not sure how much more growing you could do. Regardless, you still attempted to comprehend her reasoning for doing what she did, but this action of yours came to a halt once you realized she had gone from simply suggesting you not go out of the house to outright preventing you from doing so.
What do you mean all of my dresses are currently being washed?
You exclaimed to your newly promoted lady's maid, Sophie, as you stood in front of an empty wardrobe.
The Dowager Countess asked that all of your clothes be cleaned for the upcoming week, my lady.
She responded with an unfortunateness in her tone that suggested she knew just how unfair this was to you.
Then what am I supposed to wear?
You incredulously asked as you stared at where your clothes should be. While you had not been expecting an answer, the friendship you had with the young lady standing behind you should have prepared you for the fact that she had a card up her sleeve.
Well, your ladyship, with the Dowager asking for all your clothes to be cleaned, I thought it might be a good idea to mend that hole in your favorite day dress. Since I finished doing that last night, perhaps you could wear this dress today.
Turning, you were surprised, but very pleased to see she was holding said dress out in front of her in an amicable fashion.
Oh, Sophie, thank you. I only wish I had some occasion to wear this fine print too, if only to get out from under the thumb of my mother for a little while.
Your maid's expression took on a conspirative look as she handed you the hanger while saying,
Well, your mother is currently going through the menus for the week with the chef, so maybe we might take in some fresh air on a walk outside. After all, they will be occupied with that for a while at least.
Convinced by the reasoning of her logic, you agreed and then began the process of changing into your dress with the help of the brilliant Sophie. Together, you were both able to sneak out the front door without being seen, and you began making your way to the town square. Remembering the last occasion that had you two sneaking somewhere like this was at the ball your family hosted all those years ago, you felt a thrill of excitement as you finally tasted the freedom you had sought out all this time. As one of your approved chaperones, Sophie followed and conversed with you as you explored store after store and vendor after vendor. You had just gotten in line to buy some flowers from a street merchant when you unexpectedly heard your mother's title being used by one of the gentlemen in front of you.
I tell you, Benedict, the claws on the Dowager Countess were quite sharp. I am hoping these flowers will soon soften the blows she deals out.
Unable to help your piqued curiosity, you could not refrain from asking the two in front of you.
Excuse me, but are you referring to my mama?
Abruptly, you were met with the face of your intriguing neighbor and a man who beared a close resemblance to him. As if stunned to see you, the one you were familiar with hesitantly said,
Yes, I was.
Trying to recover, he followed up with,
But I assure you, I meant my previous words as a compliment, not an insult.
Narrowing your eyes a small bit, you responded with a touch of scathingness.
Surely, that is to be decided by the person being discussed and not you.
I am sure that this particular person does not need to know they are being discussed. Nor do they need to know that you are out and about, would you not agree, madam?
You could not tell if his tone was one of jest or if he was being naturally jovial, but what you did know was that your sense of justice would not let a potential offense to your mother stand regardless of your outing's proper standing.
Good sir, I would refrain from calling out other people's behavior when your own can easily be construed as peculiar.
Raising a smirk at the fire he saw brewing in your eyes, Anthony forgot about your audience of Sophie and Benedict and took a small step your way.
I promise you, my lady, there is nothing peculiar about the way I behave in your presence.
Truly unaware of how to respond to that particular remark, you took your own step back and decidedly said,
I do not like you, Lord Bridgerton.
This did little to bother him, and his smirk turned into a true grin as he devotingly replied,
And I vow to change that, your ladyship.
Not sure what to make of this either. You were thankfully saved from responding when the flower vendor got hold of the Viscount's attention now that it was his turn to select what he wanted.
What can I get for you today?
Asked the merchant. Facing him, Anthony thought for a moment before saying,
I will take a bouquet of yellow roses and a bouquet of pink ones as well.
Handing over the flowers as Lord Bridgerton handed over his money, your neighbor then turned towards you with each bouquet in hand, only to present them both your way.
If my understanding of the flower language is correct, then the pink roses are for you and the yellow ones are for your mother.
You could not deny that you were positively affected by this kind move on the Viscount's part, but you did not want to give him the satisfaction of knowing, so as you directed him to hand the beautiful blooms over to your maid.
I will see that they make it to some water at once. Good day, good sir.
Wearing a satisfied expression, Lord Bridgerton simply replied with a happy,
Good day, my lady.
End of chapter 4.